There it is. We are officially live. Welcome back to School of Fab, number 15. It's been a while. It's been just a little bit, right, Brian?
Yeah, short break, but hey, we're back and we have some great content for you guys.
That's right. We're back, stronger than ever, ready to throw down some mad fabrication nuggets, as always. You've got myself, Mark from Car Audio Fabrication here, joined by Brian Schmidt of Mobile Solutions. And
Yeah.
yeah, how you been, Brian?
Good, good. Crazy year, busy year. We've had a lot of classes and travel. How about you?
Busy, man. Always busy, cranking out the
Yeah.
videos. So yeah, you just wrapped up a hot rod training, right?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot of fun. Great
yeah,
group. Yeah.
nice. I saw some pictures from that, and always like seeing all the build pictures. We got Mike tuning in, so people are starting to jump on in, and you're back. That's right, Mike. Good to see you,
Yeah.
guys. Drop us a comment. Let us know that we're officially live and out there. I see some likes coming on in as well. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button.
Yeah, super cool. When I was at SEMA, Mark, we had so many people come up to the booth and say, "Hey, when are you guys going to do School of Fab?" So we're super happy to bring this back. We listened and we like to have fun and we like to have fun with you guys. So let's
Nice. For sure. So, hey, you know how we always like to do a question of the episode to kind of warm things up. Just a random question for the audience out there while we wait for a few more people to start tuning in before we get into our live fab demos. Question of the episode for this one: what is the best Thanksgiving food? I got to get your take on this, Brian. What's your go-to?
ooh, can I just skip to the dessert and say
Of
pumpkin pie?
course. Yeah.
I mean pumpkin pie, that's like the staple, right? So
Nice.
and if you eat it like my daughter, you don't eat the crust, you just eat the
Just eat the
filling.
filling. Just get a bowl of that filling. You don't even
That's
need the
what she
crust.
does.
That's funny. I go for the cranberries, and it's got to be like the legit, not just the jelly. Like it's got to have the actual cranberry chunks in it.
Yeah.
That's so good. And my mom also makes. She does like this dish where it's like potatoes, like cheesy potatoes, and then she like crumbles up the potato chips on top.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
gotta get
Comfort
your
food.
yeah carbo load on that. Let's hear from the audience though. Oh, we got another pumpkin pie, hands down. There you go.
Nice.
Vin says everything except the turkey, and I actually agree with this. Like sometimes I feel like I'm not excited for Thanksgiving because of the turkey. Like it just I feel like it just makes me tired, and
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, can I tell you what we did? We
Yeah,
s-
yeah.
we do all the dressings and all that stuff, the traditional stuff, but we do skip the turkey and we cooked ribs and a ham instead.
Ribs. Yeah, I was gonna say ham, but ribs are money. Yeah, that's the way to go. John, hey, John's in here. What's up, John? He's hungry for some nuggets, and he
Yeah.
means he means the fabrication
Oh,
nuggets.
I thought like like the pumpkin pie.
Maybe
Tamales. Oh my God, I love tamales. Yes.
there you go. Vanilla
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah. See, everybody's getting hungry on this call already.
Yeah, we might need a snack break later.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where are you at? And Mike, that you're in the are you in the middle of the workday right now? I'm curious. That'd be good to know too. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Sweet potatoes, always good. Hey, we miss you guys too. Thanks for
Yeah.
hopping on here. Let's see if you don't look. You're not cooking it. Hey, you might be right. You might be right. Yeah, I
That's
can't.
true. That's true. We might be doing it wrong. So
Yeah,
you can you can come cook for us.
one of my
Thanks,
buddies
Tony.
was talking about frying a turkey and how it gets that nice crispy crust on the outside, and that sounds a lot better than the typical oven baked turkey.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Just don't do that under your covered wood patio.
yeah, you see all those fail videos. Just oh man. All right. Well, hey, everyone is tuning in. We got Williamsport, PA in the house. SoCal, Brisbane, Australia. Is that how you say it? I feel like I always say that right. Wrong.
Yeah,
Brisbane or Brisbane?
Brisbane. Yeah, just Brisbane.
Okay, hopefully we're getting
Yeah,
that
don't say Brisbane. They'll look at you really funny.
right. Right? We've got Washington, Wisconsin. Thank you guys
Yeah,
all for tuning in. Man,
yeah,
awesome. We already got 88 people watching across the different platforms that this is streaming to. So that's awesome. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. I actually, Brian, you want to just give them a little bit of a let them know what we're going to be doing, fabrication wise in this episode, and then we'll do our other thing first, and then head into that.
Yeah, so today or this evening is really going to be about using our tools and smart and executing in a kind of a production manner. We've talked about this before, this production high end idea, and we want to kind of get away from using a lot of body filler and fiberglass. It does have its place, and you do want to use it to kind of smooth things out and get those beautiful curves. But if we could do a lot of it with the router and less sanding, boy, I'll tell you what, I'm in. Are you?
Yeah, yeah,
So we're gonna make some really cool panels and focus on the heart of the system, and that's a subwoofer baffle and the cosmetics of that, and really kind of focus on a couple things. We're gonna use probably 3 or 4 router bits and a couple different temples and keep it really simple. But the visibility and just that wow factor, I think you guys will like it. It's gonna be a lot of wow factor for not a lot of effort, and I think that's the recipe for success.
yeah. Love it. I mean, I can't stress enough. Anytime that you can go with a router technique over adding shape with, like you said, body filler and fiberglass, man, if we can avoid sanding, let's do it. So,
100%.
all right, cool. Yeah, all right. So, looking forward to that. Really quick, let's talk about the big show that's coming up, the Master Tech Expo.
Yes. Wow. Hey,
It's
Mark,
gonna
can
be
you
here before
believe?
we know it.
Yeah, this is year 4, our 4th year. This was born out of COVID, so there were a few good things, and this is one of them. And every year, I have to be biased, but I do feel we get better and more refined, and the show is just a better production every single time. And this year is going to be no exception to that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like you said. I can't. So this is number four.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. The other day I was trying to think back in my head, and I was like looking back through some of the old footage that we got in pictures, and I was like, was that the first one or the second? I feel like they've all kind of meshed together at this point. But wow, 4 years. So no, you're doing a killer job with this, and I'm excited to see what some of the new stuff is that's coming this year.
Oh, for sure. And this is a collective, group effort, a collaboration with our whole industry. It's more than just our team. It's everybody contributing, giving back to the industry, yourself included. And one of the great ways to kind of bring this all together is we like to kick off the first night with a bang, and that's this kickoff party. It's a huge networking party. It's open to everybody. So if you have a ticket to the show, boy, we want to see you there. It's a full sit down meal, a beautiful buffet. There's drinks, there's a live band, and also we give away some pretty cool awards: Lifetime Achievement, Fabricator of the Year, Clean Wiring, a wiring award, and quite a few others. So it's going to be a lot of fun to give out some awards during this time and just give some recognition. And hey, you're going to rub shoulders with the best of the best. And to me, that's probably priceless, is to just kind of talk shop with like-minded people and just have a good time and hang out. So
Yeah,
that's night one.
make new friends, and connections throughout the industry, and other people that might not be in the industry but do this as like a high end hobby, that kind of thing. And I guess we should, just in case we have anyone new on the call, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you do like a quick like elevator pitch of what the Master Tech Expo really is?
So it's a I guess you could say it's 4 days of intense learning, networking, and just kind of a high level collaboration of manufacturers and seeing builds and just lots and lots of knowledge. We definitely want you to leave smarter than when you came. So if you want to level up on whatever facet of fabrication, digital, business, we have the experts there to take you to that next level. We are paying these guys top dollar to share their secrets, and it's definitely crafted for professionals. That's where professionals come to learn. That's our tagline. So if you're into that, it is high level. It is not a SEMA, it's not other events. It is like no other. And guys that have been, you sure please comment down below. But we're not lying when you tell you that. And we're feeding you the whole time because we don't want you to leave campus. We want you to stay on property the whole time from bell to bell, and it's just a lot of fun. So how's that? That's more than that's a
That's
long
perfect.
elevator.
Ding! Oh man, good to hear all that information. Now let's get off the elevator. And, hey, this is pretty good. Mike was obviously there last year. Do you remember this?
Yeah, yes,
Make
definitely
sure
use the stairs, everybody. So please don't feel like
that's
you're
a good little inside joke for
if
everyone
you're
that
in
was
the
at the show.
Olympics. Yeah, you're not in the Olympics. Use the stairs. It's cool.
Yeah, so everything you said is really going to come together as we go through the next few slides. I mean, you're gonna see all these awesome pictures. These are all from previous years at the show. So tell us what we got going on here.
So this is a friend of mine, Dave Can Dig, and he's from Can Dig It Designs and Bitchin' Rides, the TV show. And their shop and Dave are becoming one of the most popular builders in the world, I would say. You should have seen his semi at SEMA, and the line was hundreds and hundreds of people. But Dave builds a one-off car, this car that you see right here, and it actually won. This one in particular won the Riddler Award, and that's kind of the most coveted award, in the hot rod world. And he won it last year, and it's valued almost at $3 million. Well,
Jeez.
he is going to actually do, and has never done this before, a whole breakdown of the build. Actually have 3D printed parts, machined parts from the car, there live, and show renderings. And he's going to show us the build process. And he is super excited about this. We talked in depth about this, so I'm really excited. It's a special thing. He'll have one of his other vehicles there on display, and we're just super happy to have Dave. We always like to have someone like this. I don't really know where we go from here, but we'll always have somebody high level like this. And Dave loves our world. He absolutely loves our world. And he actually built this car with a Cam Master CNC, some of the parts on it. So Cam Master will be one of our top vendors there, and they'll be displaying some of their technology as well. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the show is obviously a lot of the car audio companies are there, showing off their product and also doing trainings for everyone. But the fact that you have all the different technology partners there that are CNC router equipment, 3D scanners, 3D printers, large format 3D printers. It's really cool that there's all that industry support. So
Yeah, it's going to
nice.
be awesome.
So this is
So
new too. Yeah.
yeah, so some new highlights from the show. There's, like we talked about the networking party. We've got all of our meals, like I said, breakfast, continental breakfast, lunch, dinner, tacos, don't forget that. Our guest presenters. And on to the right there, you see this. This is new. We have Tesla is actually going to be kind of a sponsor for the show, and we're going to have an EV class. We did have one last year, and we're going to expand on that. We want to lead the charge on this EV movement. It is here. Pretty much all the major manufacturers have some type of EV, and we need to be able to adapt and integrate and add value with aftermarket audio and upholstery and customizing, if you will. So Tesla will be there, and not 100% for sure, but they're saying that they might have quite a few cars there to test drive, and then they'll have some master technicians that we can have on a panel and ask them lots of questions on how to integrate into their platform. So very, very cool, and to have them on board is pretty special.
That's really cool. Wow. Some tier one support right there from the
Yeah,
manufacturer. That's awesome. Love it.
yeah. All right. So build off and clean wire. This is your dojo, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have all new teams and team captains and a whole new project that's very, very challenging. I can't give that away just yet, but we're gonna go
Wait,
a little bit. We're gonna go let
all new teams? Is the team
all.
not they're not defending their title? We're not doing that. So
Yeah,
all new
it's
guys this year?
it's a complete reset on
Nice.
everybody. There might be a couple guys that have competed, but they're mixed into a new team. But it's mostly new people. If Dean or Fernando are watching, maybe they could comment as well. But yeah, the project that these guys have to execute in 3.5 hours is ambitious, to say the least. We're gonna go retro, like I said. I can't go too much more than that, but we were just at Dino's custom truck show, and I'll leave it at that. So,
Nice.
so
Cool.
yeah, it was very cool. And then the clean wire is going to be expanded. It has its own pavilion, basically. It's going to be awesome. This tent and pavilion will be an army of clean wire uh, team members building, and we have 8 different teams, 4 each day, all with different sponsors, and they have to wire up an amp rack and processor in that same time period. So when you guys are eating lunch and you're seeing vendors and walking around seeing all the cool stuff, this build off is going on, and the energy, Mark, I'll let you kind of speak on that, is just off the charts, and I think that's what makes our show very, very different than others.
Yeah, it's super cool to so the reason Brian mentioned that I'm involved with this is I do like the MC, if you will, of the build off. So I kind of walk everyone through what these guys are doing as they do it, kind of explain the different techniques and strategy that they're using. I kind of interview them as we go to get some input from them. So even as some like a viewer, somebody that's watching this all happening, you're learning a lot because one, you're seeing new techniques, you're seeing uh, efficient techniques because, like Brian said, they're limited on how much time they actually have. And then for the clean wire challenge as well, it's super cool. You can go out. I'm guessing you're doing it outside as again underneath
Yep,
the.
it's actually towards the back. It has its own tents plural. Like I said, it's a pavilion now.
Oh,
So
okay,
it
a
it
pavilion.
is
Gotcha.
you will like be amazed on what you guys see with this. So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So the cool thing there is, again, you can see all of like the latest and greatest techniques that guys are using for wiring amplifier racks quickly, efficiently, really clean and precisely. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And you mentioned it on the previous slide, but I just wanted to touch on it again. The fact that you guys have food, like if you have lunch for everyone, it's part of the package of, if you will, for signing up to attend the show. The fact that lunch is there, you don't have to go off campus, you don't have to track down somewhere to eat and be concerned about leaving and coming back and forth. Super nice, and it's always really good food, and same for dinner too, right? So
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
I,
Ta-
I I'm definitely
tacos.
that's what I was just gonna say. I'm definitely looking forward to taco night. So
Yeah. So yeah, this is a schedule, and if you place an order, if you have placed an order, you probably got one of these in your box or your package from us recently. But this is a schedule. It's Thursday through Sunday morning, so it's a 4-day event. Thursday's your pre-workshops in the morning, and those are the green ones over there. And then there's lots of different types of classes, everything from wiring to 3D printing to drawing and conceptual drawing. It's just a lot. Those are pre-workshop classes. They're kind of ready to get they're to warm you up for the main track, and the main tracks are on Friday, Saturday, and then part of Sunday. And yeah, long days. And in the nighttime we have our night school classes with our vendors, and our vendor training is awesome. It is not a literature training. It's actually the people who invented the product or the engineers who designed it. Everybody that comes to MasterTech knows that the vendors actually step up. I mean, Rockford Fosgate last year, they took a whole Jeep, ripped it apart, rebuilt it live, and put a full system in front of everybody in an hour and a half. It was incredible. Other manufacturers flew in, engineers from Germany that invented the product, like I said. So, we've got a lot of horsepower, and and you can go to any class you want. If you have a ticket to the show, you can go to any vendor training or any class. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to be a dealer or a JL dealer or so on, whatever dealer. You can go to anyone's class anytime. Even float around. So it's a lot of fun, and we kind of welcome the community.
love it. Yeah, lots of different options. I tried to go to a bunch of the classes last year, and I just found that there were so many good options. It's like It's hard to almost hit them all. There's so many
Yeah.
good choices. So
Oh yeah.
that's why you
So
have to go multiple years.
yeah, and it is a whole new lineup. We do have the kind of the same topics. I'll just run through them real quick. The high fidelity is going to be with Andy Waymeyer and Mark Eldridge and some very, very high level engineers and some famous people I can't say just yet. But that class, if you like high end audio, don't miss that one. Fab Boot Camp is going to be in your wheelhouse of just doing production fabrication, but you'll have four different presenters showing you their style, their top like level style. And then Master Fab is probably the most popular class. It always has been. And that will be more of a 3D, and we're blending automation and analog together in that class, and it will be amazing. So there's some really cool stuff, some new lighting classes. Dave Cause is joining us, some other guys, Justin Marks, Justin Cush. I mean, the list goes on and on. We have a lot of contributors. And then we kind of switch into our digital boot camp, the 2D. And I think this is super important for guys to understand on the 2D is laser cutting and CNC cutting, learning that and learning your craft really well. So we've got, uh, you know, Matt Schaefer and Gary Bell and Lee Teeples and Cody and Alan. I just saw Alan Lindgren on there. All these guys are going to be contributing to that digital boot camp. Amazing talent there, and these guys have a ton to share. And as you progress into this 3D movement, the Fusion 360, I just see so many guys really adapting to this. It's awesome. We're going to really do a big push on this, and we have some of the top guys: Jeremy Carlson, Charles Brazil, the folks from Peel 3D, and Big Rep. So the manufacturers actually get involved with some of these tracks and contribute a lot of their stuff. Master Interiors is going to be expanded on from last year, and that is how to build luxurious interiors, doing top stitch. We got Phil Cato from Bitch and Stitch, and he's going to be teaching a bunch of classes in there, and Stitch and Steve and others. It's going to be really good. And then don't forget these business classes. We want to have something for everybody. The ownership, guys. We have a brand manager from Porsche coming. We have top guys in the industry that have multiple stores. They have a recipe for success, and they want to share it with you on how to do marketing, how to implement P&L sheets, and just really how to move the needle on your business. And then last, I feel like our sales classes are some of the best ever. Dan from Titan and Nick from Musicar and Ken Ward and others are going to be contributing in the sales class. Awesome classes. So, I mean, the talent pool, Mark, is
Yeah.
just off the charts. I don't think you could get better talent than what's in that lineup right there. So,
Yeah, ton of advanced, high level classes. How would you address this question?
absolutely. We love new when the young new talent. I would probably gear yourself to maybe a fab boot camp or an interior class. Tom Miller is going to be teaching how to draw, but they all start off kind of at a 101 level, 202, 303. So the idea is you walk through this progression, you're not overwhelmed, and it's everything is project based, just like we're going to do today. Everything will have a small project, and they're going to go from start to finish and build a project live in front of you in every single class. So that's a big kind of dynamic change that we're doing for 2025.
Awesome. Love it. So, hey, I'm sold. If I want to buy my ticket, what do I do?
So just head to the website. It's super easy. You can pick your classes, and there's all the information on there. You can see the testimonials. If you guys have questions, we're happy to answer any questions for you guys. And yeah, just you could ping me or DM me if you'd like, and I'm happy to help and get you going. But I will tell you, the hotel called me yesterday, and our block is almost full. So that is filling up an entire Delta Marriott at 3 months out. So
Oof.
please, please, please book your hotel if you don't do anything so you can lock that in.
Right. Wow. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Hey, really quick too. So just so everyone knows, if you did want to download that document that we just went through, just so you can see it in a little bit more detail, you can go to the mobilesolutions-usa.com website and you can download it right here. You could also use this link just by clicking this image here if you want to go to mastertechexpo.com.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's awesome. So we're excited, and yeah, you guys register soon. Those
Yeah,
classes are filling up, so it's
it's good to
good
see everyone chiming in too that, went previous years and what they liked. So love seeing that.
for sure.
All right, Brian,
Hey, let's make some dust, huh? Who's
let,
ready?
let's make some man glitter. All
All
right.
right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We got our new sky cam here. We got a couple different scenes, if you will, that we can choose from, and I'm just gonna kind of talk
Yep.
about a couple different things. We're gonna build this panel, and it's gonna be similar to a kind of a production style enclosure, and we want to add a little flair to it. We want to add a cool baffle, something like this. Here, we'll actually go to the sky cam, if you will, and you can maybe get a close up. And I want to show you just how to make some texture. So we're going to make these cool lines. We're going to add it to a baffle. And then we're going to throw some material on this and show you some different ways to gap this. And hopefully we can do this pretty quickly. We have talked about a couple of these ideas before, but I want to kind of expand on some of that stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this template right here. This is our shadow template. I know a lot of you guys have this or just maybe purchased it recently on our Black Friday sale because Mr. Juan is loving you. I can't. We had to put up fold up tables because we had so many orders. I don't know where to put them. So thank you guys for that. So this right here is the kind of the start, the heart of this. And let me see if I can zoom out just a drop. That's in. Let's go out. And that way you guys can kind of get a better view of this. We're going to start with this, and I have a piece of 3/4 inch MDF light. And some people have never heard of it. Some people have. Some people say it's hard to get. It's really used in the CNC world. It's probably 50% lighter than normal MDF, but why we like it is it routers really, really nice. It's actually not 3/4 of an inch. It's a metric size, I think 18 millimeters, but it's 0.7. So know that it's not 0.75, it's 0.7. We're gonna take.
It is important to note for when you're planning through your stack. You want to make sure you use the actual thickness. Don't just assume 3/4.
Yeah, but it has its benefits. There's rules to it as well. I wouldn't use it for structural stuff. So if you're trying to build an SPL enclosure, probably go a different route or do Baltic birch or something. But for cool panels that have a lot of dimension, and we're gonna throw some major router bit work on these, I want something that I can machine really nice that doesn't kill my bits, but it still gives me a cool look. And it's how much is it? It's probably $5 more than normal MDF. So it's some of the brand names would be ultralight if you're asking for, and I would order it from a hardwood supplier and try to find it locally. So that would be my advice.
That's a good nugget because if you ask for MDF light, sometimes they're like, "What? What do you mean?"
Yeah. So we're gonna tape this down, and you notice I did tape it pretty generously, and I want to make sure that it is locked down really, really good, especially right here. It's going to flex, so we want to make sure that that is good. And then we're going to add our number, I think this is 1, 2, 3, the third template up in the middle here. And you know what? As we were working through this tonight, and I actually had someone mention this in class. I don't know if they're on the call, but guess what we made? We made a new tool tonight. We're going to call these our little T spacers. Look at how neat that is. They are here. Let's zoom in so you can see this. And I'll have this available soon if you want them. And they're super cool. So it just allows you to base your
the tile things.
Yeah, it's just like doing tile work, but you're doing template work. So you can center this thing perfectly and you're not eyeballing it. Come on, we're better than that. We don't want to eyeball it or trying to cut stuff on the table saw. So look how cool. I can just space these all the way around and lock them in. Yeah, I'm going to come back out and you can see, so just it locks them in, and then you have perfect geometry. So now I can capture the outside and the inside, and it captures that. Super cool. So new tool tonight. There you go. I know it's little, but
And Brian,
it's
Brian, I think we should talk about really quick. Why not just make those size on size? Why have a 3/16 inch gap anyway?
so the gap is engineered for carpet and vinyl or leather. So you can carpet the outer one and then wrap the other one with maybe a smooth material like I mentioned, vinyl, leather, suede, something like that. And that's why that gap is there. So if you want zero tolerance, then you're going to have to oversize one side or both. You could oversize it, but it's a 3/16 gap. So we're going to put our little 3/16 spacers in here. I'm going to tape this and tape it generously. Don't go cheap on that tape because it will move. And the last thing you want is that to move
Hold on,
halfway through the cut.
hold on. I just want to show them this real quick. So this router bit set, the expansion flush trim bit tray. So you can see, I can't make this picture bigger, or I would, but you can see on the tray there that it describes, what bit you would use for each of the different gaps that you need, whether it's carpet and vinyl, vinyl on vinyl, etc. So basically you can shrink that gap by expanding on either the outside of the inner piece or the inside of the outer piece.
Yep. So let those bits do the work for you. And I'm just kind of pressing my little T's here into one side. And yeah, it works so good. It just is nice. I can't believe we haven't done it sooner, but hey, tonight's the night, right? So
Nice.
there, you know that it is gapped perfectly. You're not eyeballing it, and there you go. So we got our T's in there. I'm gonna make contact with the tape to the wood, and then remove these guys and use them for something else down the road. But they make it handy so you can cascade those templates together. Make sure you press super hard. And then let's cut this. We're going to cut this with a 1/4 inch spiral bit. So I've got it right here. I'm going to change my view here to this guy. We're going to go to table number 1. And if you guys aren't familiar with the 1/4 inch quad, it's a staple. Some people like to order them like a Pez dispenser. They just have a lot of them, which makes it nice. We want the 4 bearings to have more surface area on the templates. And here, let's just change this bit. You can use a drill. This is a new feature right here. It's called a clutch, guys, right here. Okay.
What's
Use the
that?
clutch. Use the clutch. So when you raise that thing up all the way, the clutch engages, and then you're going to tighten this up. See how I have the wrench right here? The wrenches are flush with the collet. So
That's
I'm
an
not,
important tip for when you first set up your router lift. What Brian
yep,
just did there. You want that. You don't want to have to like angle the wrench down into the hole. You want it to be nice and flat on the surface.
yep,
And you control that by where the motor is mounted in the lift itself.
100%. So then we're going to come off to the side and then do our height check. And I just want to make sure that the cutter is just barely above that workpiece. So get eye level, always get eye level. And I have it about a 1/16 of an inch above. And let's go. I don't need a rough cut. This is the beautiful thing about the MDF light is there's no rough cutting. So we can just rock and roll. Let's just try it out. Let's see how it goes. So this is taped really well. I got my specs on. Let's rock and roll. Let's go. Got to raise that just a little bit and let's lock it in. Here we go.
And then that noise cancellation is working really well. I could hear you talking perfectly, and the router isn't overbearing loud like usual. Nice.
You know, it never gets old watching that bit cut. It's just so satisfying, right?
It cuts like butter.
Yeah, but look, guys, there's no burn marks. Look, Russ, no lines. All right, Christmas vacation joke. Come on now.
It took me a second. I know that line now. That's funny.
All right, done. So I just try to. You notice how I cut these into fours. Let me back out just a bit. Is I always try to trim that. This is just me over years. See how I didn't try to cut one big piece, even if it was larger. I'll just cut it up into sections. So then you just got scrap and you're not trying to fight this large piece that's bouncing around at the end of the negative of that positive. So look how nice. I mean, if that didn't sell you on MDF light right there, I can just skip making a 1/4 inch template and just go right to our part instead of make a template. Next step is
No,
let's do,
no in there either.
what's that?
No cutting, so just
Yeah.
save that time.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, your headset seems to be distorted just a little bit. I don't know. You can check the connection. All right, so we're gonna drill this guy. This is just a pre-hole. You could do this ahead of time, I guess, and try to line it up. But I'm just going to use this as my start, and I'm going to do the inside piece. So we're going to rock this thing out. Let's just get this lined up and take our time. Just go nice and slow. Ready? I just cut it super nice. Gotta love a new bit, huh?
Yeah. Does that sound okay now?
I think you're still a little bit distorted. All right, let's come to the end and then make sure you just hold all your parts down. Wait till that router stops. Every time I try to lift that thing up too soon, well, you guys know what it does. It bounces around. It's no good. All right, so look how cool. Perfectly spaced, nice clean geometry, right? So let's just kind of fast forward. I took the liberty of making this a little bit of a cooking show, and we made a double baffle, right? These are just two-sided taped together, so we can separate them. But I want that thick wall right here. We want this wall thickness because now we're going to put an angle on the inside of it. And I'd like to use a 30-degree angle. And I want to show you a couple things with this. Some tricks that you can do. So before we do that, let's take this and I'm going to copy it. I'm actually going to just use this template on the inside.
Hey, real quick, sorry. Is my mic good now?
It's actually worse.
Worse.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, go solo for a minute. I'm gonna switch out our USB cables. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So we're good. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to actually make that top template. I want to actually make this flush with this top. And I want you guys to see all these steps because this is an important step, especially to do this big chamfer. We're going to use a monster chamfer bit. So I'm going to flush trim this to this so I have a 1/4 inch border or template on that top edge. This will take just a second. Make sure your MDF super clean, especially in the summer months when it gets humid and hot. You want to make sure that that MDF is nice and clean, and use a paper towel or something to wipe it down. Let's take this and go. Take this to your 1/4 inch piece. So I have two pieces of this 0.7 or 3/4 inch MDF. You could use your real MDF if you wanted to. You just have to rough cut it, and you could use any thickness you want. I like the thicker version to give me that depth. I want this baffle to have a lot of depth, so it's going to sink in there and also protect the woofer, kind of act like a grill. So let's just make sure that we have material all the way around the outside and it's good to go. Let's adjust that height. Don't rock that bit too high. That can be dangerous. And we'll just bring it down about a 1/16 inch above our workpiece, and let's go. Same thing. Let's break these up into small pieces. There you go. You want to use that 1/4 inch spiral because, if you're using a 1/2 inch bit, it's 50% more dust. So this just is a lot easier, a lot less dust. Let's take this and flush trim this inside piece. Come to the end, stop, let it slow down, and we're good. Okay, so big chamfer bits. This can be difficult. If you have to break it up into 2 bits, here's what I like to do is we're gonna zoom in on this centerpiece here. So let me see if I can focus on this. So if you have a small chamfer bit, we're really gonna focus on a 30 degree bit, or here's a 45. If you look at that 45, it's not tall enough. So you have to compensate for 2 cuts. You can't do it in 1 cut. So I'm going to show you how to do it in multiple cuts and make the math line up. Or if you have a smaller bit. Now, thankfully, today we got a big boy, and I can do this in 1 shot. That's why I added that 1/4 inch piece up there, because I want to do this in 1 shot. But this isn't always the case, and that's an expensive bit. I mean, that's $100+ bit. I want to show how to do it both ways. So we're going to figure out the math. The math is super easy to do. So let's just change this bit. I want to go to a 1/2 inch shank bit. This is 1/4 inch. Let's raise this up.
Hey, Brian, I'm back. Am I good?
Much better.
Okay. Hey, really quick. So they're talking about in the chat, and it's a good point to bring up. So it always gets confusing talking about upcut or downcut. So a router bit is always defined as if it's in the handheld application. So in this case, your flush trim, like the spiral flush trim bit that you were using, that's technically an upcut.
Yep. It's an upcut because you've inverted it in the router table, and now it's upside down. So now
and
it's actually
pulling the piece down towards the table, which is what you want. If it was a down cut, it would actually be in a table application. It would actually be lifting the piece up off the table.
Yep. Everything's referenced to a handheld router. So if we flip that handheld router upside down and put it in a table, it's really an inverted router table, and we want an upcut. We only sell upcut spiral bits with a bearing. We sell downcut spiral bits without bearings for cutting circles on a circle cutter, a perfect circle or something like that, without a bearing. All right. So let's make sure this guy is nice and tight.
Hope that helps you out, Kyle.
Yeah. This is not coming to the top tonight. There we go. That last hot rod class, boy, it was a good one, but it was hard on the tools.
I was gonna say, that router lift has seen some stuff, man.
Yeah, it's got more miles than Delta on it probably. So anyway, so we're gonna lower this bad boy down, get it in place, and basically I want this to come into about the same height as 1 thickness of that MDF. And let's get a bigger insert for this. And I think this is noteworthy to just kind of spend a little bit of time on. It's really a cool technique. So, guys, just bear with me here. I want to show the actual technique here on how it's going to go down. So let's get this down a little bit lower.
Somebody's asking, what router do you have in there? Is that a 890?
It is. It's a unicorn. So
yeah, they don't make them anymore.
It's on its last prayer.
What's your recommendation nowadays?
The new Bosch. I think Bosch is probably the next kind of
Yeah, that's what I have that on my one that I use for that has the dedicated spiral flush trim.
Yeah, we're like 50-50 now on them. We just when they die, there's no you can get them fixed, but there's really not a lot of parts. So I'm just converting over to Bosch. So I wish they still made that router. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
it's really sad. I think that was a financial decision when
We
somebody.
were probably 95% of their business with
Yeah, I
that.
don't know how they could have not sold, enough to justify the brand. I think DeWalt owns them or Black and Decker is a bigger company. Okay, so let me explain. I just took two pieces of MDF they're rectangle. It's probably 6 by 8 or something like that, and they're exactly the same size, just cut on the table saw. We're going to cut, or we're going to put a 30-degree chamfer on one side of this, and just chamfer one side and then flip it over. So ready?
Rip it.
So if you guys look at that, I'm going to raise it just a little bit. There you go. So it has a 0 clearance. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
Just go for the whole thing.
yeah. So you're just trying to get real close to that seam
And then I'm going to
between the
flip
two.
it.
Yep.
I'm going to do this side. I just want that edge super close. And that's it. So we basically just took and made a parallelogram, if you will. Let's try to zoom. See if I can zoom just to get you guys a little bit closer. So a parallelogram. And here's the magic. If you're watching at home on your couch,
This is where Billy Mays comes in. Here's the magic.
well, if you're watching us over Thursday night football, bless your heart.
Let's go.
There you go. So see how the angle lines up? That's what we're going after, but we had to do it in 2 cuts. Well, you can't really do that on your part. But what this is doing is telling you the math. See the math here? So if you get these to line up, because it was a square, the shift on that top one gives you the rabbit. Does that make sense? And so now I have 2 parts here, and I can router each one of these individually with a 30-degree angle, and the angle will line up because there's the angle. Guess what? We've got our rabbit already set. It's actually 7/16. If I can hold this up to the camera and get this lined up perfectly, you'll be able to see that is 7/16. And if I router this top edge, let's zoom out. If I router this top edge all the way around and take that first layer all the way down, that top layer all the way down to the first layer there, and then come back and put a chamfer bit on it, they will line up perfectly. So if your bit isn't tall enough, that's how you do it. Now, if you guys want to learn the secret sauce, we actually have done the math for you, and I don't know if we even have this on the website, but this is a new little cool tool. These are laser cut angle finders, and look at that. So you can, is it on the website, Mark? I don't know if it is. I don't think it is.
I'm looking.
Yeah. So look, it's right here. So there, it says 30 degrees on there, and it actually tells you the angle. Same thing perfectly. That's the material thickness, and it also shows you, there it is. So we do have it. Chamfer gauge set. You need that in your life. Oh my God, that would be such a beautiful stocking stuffer. Santa should bring that to you. How could you live without that? All right, let's keep going.
A little shameless plug right there.
Okay. So, but it does save time. I want to show this. Here's the bit tray number 3. And look what I did. I found the 7/16 right here, and I swapped the bearing with the rabbit. And if you look right here on the rabbet cut side, it says 7/16. And I just swapped these bearings, and that's how I got that configuration. So bit tray number 3, that is money. This does everything for you. It's so important. This is a fundamental toolkit right here. You've got to have that. I don't care how many lasers and 3D printers you have, you still need this bit. It is a core thing. I would love to see in the comments how many guys have bit tray number 3. It's awesome.
I think that was literally the first tray I got from you.
All right, so let's just
Hey,
do it.
hey, real
Yes.
quick though, the other benefit of doing that like math saving tip is now your router bit is at the perfect height. Like because
Yeah.
you always want to dial it in on a scrap piece anyway. You don't want to do it on your nice piece that you have cut already there and accidentally go too far. So
I've
done
never
that.
I've never done that.
Never done that.
Never done that. Of course we've done it. Okay, so let's cut one layer. Now, let's go. Ready? Okay, let's take a look. Man, that is so nice to have the bit do the work
Yeah.
instead of me
You don't want to
having to.
sand that? Come on, man. Just
Yeah,
sand it.
just to sand that is crazy. So I just think that this is a really cool way to do it. So that's one layer. You could just leave it like that and rock that out if you want that depth in there, or maybe you're gonna make this layer not as deep, and that's maybe acrylic. You could have that like 1/4 inch acrylic or 3/8 acrylic because that's the same thickness as the LEDs, and
Yep.
have that light up, and then add your baffle underneath it. So, but we want to go, let's just try to go all the way. I don't want to cut this in one shot though. That's super dangerous. And I think it's kind of reckless to try to do it in one pass. So it makes sense to do it in multiple passes. So let's just raise this bit up, and maybe we'll do it in 2 or maybe even 3 passes. The deeper you go, I mean, it's a lot more material. So it pays to just do it in multiple passes. You'll have a cleaner cut, your bits will last longer, and it's definitely safer. Nice. Look at that. So, I mean, you got to appreciate that material. And again, look, Russ, no lines. Last time I'm going to say that one. All right, let's just keep rolling here.
That's the hashtag of the episode.
There's always something.
Remember Rudy to the Tootie?
Yeah, I do remember that. Justin Cush still gives me a hard time about that. All right, so I'm just eyeballing this eye level. I want to be right at eye level with this thing, and let's just put this thing. I want a massive dimension here. So this is a lot of material, and you can see why we're doing it in multiple passes. This is our final pass.
Yeah, those big router bits definitely throw a little bit more dust. I know this is Brian's training like auxiliary router table setup, so the dust
Yeah,
collection isn't as good as the normal dust collector, but
that's a shop vac, guys, and I'd say it did pretty damn good. So, uh, so let's just do our Benihana trick and clean our table off because that's the right thing to do. All right, cool. So let's work on the baffle now. So this could hold a couple 8s. We just kept it small. because of the size of the class, and we might need to sand it out a little bit. Let me change views here.
Hey Brian, we had a quick question come in. Is there a reason he's not locking it after setting for like the lift height?
I probably should. So that's not a bad idea. I know this lift really well because it's tight and it's not going to move on me. If it's a newer lift, it might like move
Walk a little
easier.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, it might move. I'm trying to just center this for you. So that it's always a good practice to do that for sure. So, all right, let's keep moving here. Let's focus on that baffle. So you guys like the idea, and you can see the benefit of just buying a big bit, like get a big chamfer bit, and you can just shoot it in one shot. If I didn't have that one bit, I'd have to do my trick of rabbiting it and then have a template in between and then chamfering it and then bring it back together, which isn't bad. It's just another step. So one bit definitely helps, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
so,
for all my DIY guys out there, that technique that Brian showed basically allows you to use this bit here, which is, it has a smaller overall height. You have to rab it and do in two stages, or you can use the monster 30-degree bit. So, which is what Brian just showed
yeah.
us.
How much is that guy?
So the monster is 108.99, and then but the other one is 35.99.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just you got to pick your poison there.
Yeah, yeah. Shop guys all about efficiency and working fast, and DIY guys might have a little bit more time and working on it on the weekend and whatnot. There you go. So always a trade off.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to router table number 2. So this bit right here is one of my favorite bits. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. And yeah, it'll zoom in nicely. That is a super cool bit. It is a V bit and it has kind of a flat top to it. And I like this bit because it's great for upholstery work. It gives you a cool depth, and it's a nice way to add some dimension and style to the panel. So usually you could add a bearing to it, but most of the time I'm gonna make templates and manipulate it to do all kinds of stuff. And we have a whole bunch of other tools that kind of support this. A smart uh, ruler, the template guide system. I think we have 3 or 4 different style of templates that actually support this bit. So let's kind of give you the scenario here. We're going to take this bit and show you an oldie but a goodie. Mark actually has this on an older video, but I thought that we'd make it retro, and we're going to put a little spin on it. We're going to spice it up a little bit, and I think you guys will like this.
Some extra
So
nuggets.
yeah, so we're gonna add some hot sauce to it, and some gravy from Thanksgiving, and
Hey, John chimed in. John Polo. He said, "I'm just a hobbyist, but I still bought the Monster 30 and 45."
uh,
John's got a
see,
sick shop.
yeah, he's a little bit more than a hobbyist, but yes. All right, Mark. So cranberries. What else are we adding to this?
Some cheesy potatoes with crushed up chips on top.
That's true. Yes. Yeah, green bean casserole.
Some
Uh, you know,
some turkey that's not cooked the wrong way.
I like this the stuffing. It's got to be cooked really good. I like it almost crispy.
Ooh, yeah.
Just a little like baked.
I like mixing it with the gravy.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Crusty mac and cheese. That's right, Vin.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take our smart circle system right here. Let's just get this on the docket. This is one of our faves. Let me zoom back out so we can get a better view of what's going on here. And there we go. Here we go. Out. Okay, so the beauty of this circle system right here, as you can see, is all of these interlock together, and these actually fit 80% of all woofers manufactured. We did a lot of homework on the sizing. That's actually why there's two sets. Is it's impossible to create these without having to have two different sets.
Do you have the other
But
set close to you right now that comes with that?
I do not have it out here
Okay.
close.
Here, I'll show it again real quick.
But yeah, if you take any woofer, it will fit. Usually it fits perfectly. And what's cool is it fits the ID and the OD. So I don't have a driver out here, but you name the woofer that's round, and it'll mount it and then countersink it, and you just go up. So that's one application for it. You see all the holes from the SFS system, which is nice. So you can interlock it with other templates. We just want all the templates to have a lot of clean geometry and to work together. So I'm going to locate this one over here, the smallest one. You're going to take the smallest one, and this is, if you guys are a Patreon, you can come back to this. Let's go to router table 2 and zoom in. And two-side tape this right to your router table. You have to have a lift. You kind of have to have all these this ingredients here to make this. Two-side tape that one is locked. Then you're going to grab your whatever substrate you want to use. So I'm going to use a 1/4 inch wood. You could use plastic. You could use ABS. You could use acrylic even. Totally fine to do all of those. And we're going to lay this thing out. So let me see if I can come out just a drop so you can see a little bit better. But this piece is just a little bit bigger than this piece. That's going to be our cosmetic kind of portion of this. And then we're going to put the woofer in the center. So let me explain. Let's first draw a center line. And I want to show you a couple of my favorite tools. This is my favorite tape measure right here. It is a centering tape. And look how cool. This piece is 25.5 inches. So let me see if I can get our Skycam to help us today. What do you say, Mark? Let's zoom.
Go
So
gadget zoom.
So you're going to come over here. Let's get closer, closer, closer. And see where it says 25. So you have a half scale, and then you have full scale.
Does the math for you.
So look at that. So I don't know if you can see. There's 25 and 25.5, and then it's over here on the end. If I zoom back out, that is 25.5 as well. So you just look at the half scale and you go right to center, and you don't have to do any math. You're just like, okay, sweet. There's 25.5, and go. Take your T-square, set it right on that center line, and how nice is that?
Nice.
So a very quick way to find center with your tape measure, because math just slows us down sometimes.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna take,
especially if it was a more oddball length.
Yeah, we're gonna use some of the 1/4 inch or the quarter round smart frame system ones. So these actually connect to a gigantic circle. I think it's like 24 inches. We're going to use just half, and I'm going to use these registration points where there's bolt holes. So we have here, and I would recommend doing all this. Lay this thing out just like I'm showing you. It's super important that you spend the time and lay it out, because if you don't, it's so easy to get it mixed up, and you start rolling through all these different cuts, and it's very easy to get one backwards. So if you kind of lay out your foundation, you'll always have success. So I highly recommend draw the center line, draw these two arcs off to the side. Now you could use other arcs. I like to use a more aggressive arc because we're going to make these two crisscross. I want you to think of this as if we just dropped a pebble in the pond right here, and it's going to make waves, and then the other waves are going to come across it and make these diamond waves. So it's even cooler. So we have our center line, our two sides. Let's just tape one edge. I wish you could tape both, but you really have to tape one at a time, and you'll see why here in a second. Let's just tape right here along the line. How's everybody doing? You'll love this technique. Stay with me on this, okay? So this will take about 8 minutes to do the whole thing. I actually timed it, so it
Get ready,
goes.
go.
Maybe it's faster. So it's super fast. All I'm focusing on is the cosmetics here. So just tape right on that line. Make sure you try to get it as close as you can, and it's on that inside edge. Looks good. Our alignment looks solid. Let's kind of clear the table. So we got
Hey,
a clean working surface.
hey, real
Yeah.
quick before you router this, if you guys could do us a favor and whatever platform you're watching on, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, hit the like button. We'd appreciate that.
Yes, like it, or you have to wait another 8 months. All right, so some things to point out. This bit right here is up about an eighth of an inch. It's the cut on it is not that deep. So I just want to point that out. I think a lot of guys make the mistake of running this too deep, and that can cause problems, a lot of problems actually. It makes it harder to upholster, and it's not really necessary. So eighth of an inch at the max, maybe even a 16th.
Yeah, a little
So
goes a
let's
long way for
let's
sure.
do a cut. And notice I'm using my safety pieces.
Yep.
Let's flip this, and look how nice clean cut. I'll try to get that in the camera view. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So make sure that this is solid. And here's the fun part. You're just going to keep adding those circles and
Yeah,
making it bigger. This
this
is
is
what
very good. Yep.
offsets the cut.
Yeah, it's nice that these are size on size.
So you want to make sure you're pressing down and you can see the cut. And let's go. I'm going to just go fast now and just, do these cuts nice and calculated. Just make sure you take your time pressing those on.
Yeah. Another tip here while Brian starts going through these. So I found, on that first initial one that you do, since you only have that small circle, it can, the workpiece can kind of tip a little bit more. So what I like to do is like over to the right side of the screen. Sometimes I'll take just an extra template because they're all the same thickness, and I'll just template tape it to the top of my table just so it kind of has another surface to ride against to keep it from kind of tilting. But once you start stepping through all of these circles, that surface area gets a lot larger, so you no longer have that problem.
Yeah, it just gets easier as you go, for sure.
Yeah, the other thing you can do, kind of that same idea, is you can actually set up a stop like on your table. It could be like a wood board that's vertical and template taped to your table. That way, if you were trying to have the bit stop at the same exact point, like maybe if you were going for a look where you were going to see the end of where that cutting pass is being made, that's kind of another cool strategy you can use here to like add a cool design to the front of the panel.
So kind of a noteworthy thing to talk about is our workpiece is much bigger than the actual baffle. Don't try to just cut the baffle and do this. We're going to center this on the baffle how we want it, or our kind of our showpiece.
Yep.
So we just make it big, and then at the very end, we'll just flush trim it to what looks the best and is centered. Maybe Mark, you could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that explained it pretty well. But what Brian's basically saying is, don't be afraid to use too much material on this piece because you're going to want to center it behind your other finished panel, and you want to have that excess material around the outside so that you can trim it off once you're done doing these cutting passes.
Okay, so our last one, and we're just, it doesn't really matter where you intersect it. You could do it on any part of the table, but
Yeah, and you of course you don't have to use all of these lines either. Brian just is for the sake of this design. You could use 3 or 4 or 5. You know, you can pick whatever number you want, so you can really control what kind of look you're going for.
Yeah, so check this out. I mean, it's so cool. That is, an awesome effect. And what I like about it is the lines, they're not parallel. They actually kind of stagger. And they change a little bit as you cut it. So that's one side. Let's peel this and we'll do the other side. So I got to ask you, Mark, do you like to leave them on there or start over at 0? Or does it
Oh,
matter?
the circles?
Yeah.
No, I leave them on and then work backwards.
Yeah, it saves
Yep.
you a little bit of time. It's the same geometry,
Yep.
works exactly the same. So just save you that step of having to apply them. You only put them on once, and then you cut the opposing side and peel them off.
Yep. And
So
that's of course if you're going for a symmetrical look. You could be done right now if you were doing a side panel or something,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you
you
know.
could just keep adding to it for sure. So that pencil line is my reference, so I don't misplace this. And make sure that thing is on there good, because that's kind of like your reference to everything. So there's that.
That is important too. So, and I don't know if you mentioned it explicitly, but you definitely want to make sure that you are maintaining contact between those two templates that are, riding against each other. Because if you don't, if you pull away ever so slightly, then that's obviously going to make your cutting line be off a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
Hey, can
Oh,
you
let me
switch the
yeah
camera
change
view?
the view. Oops.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing though. Jacob, I saw your comment there. That trick
There.
just blew my mind. So that's pretty cool seeing that one cutting pass, but it really comes together once you stick
Yeah.
through the rest of
Yeah.
these here.
Okay. So let's just keep rolling. So now we can peel. We'll just set them aside, and this will go quick. You can hear it. You can hear all those opposing cuts in there.
Yeah, we actually can't hear it because of the noise cancellation. But
Oh,
what Brian's talking about is like you can, if you've ever heard, I'm sure you guys all have. You hear a router bit going through the wood, it'll normally just be like, zzz, but as it skips through the lines, it's like zit 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 zit. It kind of sounds cool actually. Uh, Keep in mind too. So something else you can do if you wanted, you could have a bunch of straight cuts also if you change the geometry of that piece that he has attached to the wood. You could just do literally a straight template or a scrap piece of wood, and you can go through and do the same technique.
yes. And we do it all the time, just to add some cool lines or dimensions. It's a great way to add a different element super fast. It really
Yeah,
doesn't cost you anything other than some time. And we're almost done.
we had a question come in. How would you go about if you have a larger piece and need to make more grooves?
So, you are limited a little bit on the size, but you could do it in multiple pieces and kind of piece it together, I guess, if you wanted to. If it was massive.
Yeah, depending on the profile, you could like if it was like a straight line, you could definitely just reset your initial, your board that's attached to your workpiece or your template that's attached to the workpiece. You could just carefully measure out and keep staggering through. I've actually done that before. Um,
Okay,
it gets a little bit different with arcs because you're kind of like expanding upon the size. So,
let's take a look. Let's see how we did.
wham!
Isn't that
Nice.
cool? Yeah, and yeah, it looks like our geometry is pretty close. So let's take this.
Now I missed it when you marked out those lines for the arcs to attach. Did you measure the location or?
Yeah, I just went from, let's see if we can show. So this this registration point right here, the hole to hole
Oh, okay, gotcha.
on on that hard line. So it's the same on that side. So
Nice.
so
Well,
now,
this is why you oversize, right?
yep. And so now, look how cool. So you can adjust this. Let's see if I can get that lined up nicely. We can adjust and pick how we want this to land. Obviously, we want to have it centered, but we
What
can
if you
come.
off center it a little bit? How does it look?
I mean, you could do that.
Yeah.
You can
I
make
mean, obviously, if your board was a little bit bigger, but yeah,
you can go crazy with it and
yeah. You
do
could
it
go
like a,
like based on the rule of thirds, like have the kind of more the center point,
yeah,
like off to the third, or
yeah,
obviously lots of different options. So
yeah, yeah. So that's a cool piece that kind of demonstrates that. And here is one I did earlier as well. Same thing, but we can add a woofer hole to one if you'd like, and then just kind of finish that piece.
let's do it.
And yeah, how are we doing on time?
We're an hour 15 deep. So
Damn. Okay.
hey, I
Is it?
appreciate everyone hitting the like button too. I see that like the quantity of likes doubled, so appreciate that, you guys.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's a lot you can do with this. Let's just, let's take some of this geometry here and lay it out. Let's see how this kind of fares out. So this piece right here, we'll have one that's solid. Let's just say that maybe this is for a classic hot rod, and we're going to leave it solid. We don't really care for speakers. We just want to have it for a cosmetic thing. This is for you audio guys. So then you could add a circle in there, and let's say that that would flush mount. We could backload the boxes behind a subwoofer or something, and that would be behind this. So let's.
Can we do where we hide the? Does the size work out? Like let's do where we
Yeah,
hide the mounting hardware.
yeah.
And
So everything will come from the back.
okay,
It'll all come from the back. You won't see any of the hardware. The the driver will actually be mounted to the box, and then this will just cover it. So I'm just going to get our center line. That's a beautiful thing about the templates is you do have those score lines on there, so you can index them left and right and just get this thing exactly where you want it. Once you have it kind of set and you like your geometry, you're going to look down here. Everything looks cool. Let's go ahead and draw that inside shape and outside shape. So that looks pretty cool. So draw this. That way we have a reference. And then the outside. Once I draw that pencil line, I always draw that pencil line first. It helps. If you just try to put tape on there and then do it while your tape is peeled, it's kind of like it's live and you really don't have a lot of options for, error. So this way I can just land it right on the pencil line. Make sure we get a lot in those center pieces. And on an end, let's go ahead. We'll need to change bits and we'll flush trim this real quick.
do you like to mark? Like, do you like to transfer the like the center lines from the template to the workpiece at all while you're doing this? Or
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's that definitely helps. And if you guys are transferring that center line, if it's on a thick piece like this, like something up here, take a block of wood, and if you got that center line, just transfer it straight up like this. So if the line's here, you're just gonna transfer it up, but use something that's a true 90 so you can get that score line nice. All right, let's change bits super fast.
hey, Brian, while you're changing the bit, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna do it for the boys because I know you'll say yes. Can we put this particular template set on sale at the Black Friday price for the we could do a coupon code just for the guys that are tuned in right now.
Yes, 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 of course.
All right, so coupon code will just be School of Fab, all lowercase, and
Yeah,
I'll set it up after the show. So hope that helps you out, Boosted.
There you go. Yeah, so it's cool. And that was the what? The shadow or the circles or both?
Oh man, I don't know, Brian. He was just asking about the shadow, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, we could. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it
That
for both or no?
that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
If you're watching, we love you. Merry Christmas.
Everyone's like, both, both, of course.
Yeah, sure. Sure, why not?
All right, so yeah, SFS, the circle kit, and then the shadow template.
Yeah. 'Tis the season to be merry.
I'm not sure if I can do a coupon code on both products, so if not, it will just be
You can do it, Mark.
discounted. But
You can do it.
if School of Fab.
Okay. All right, so here's our quick bit change. Let's go to table number 2 and adjust this. So we like our height. We like the alignment. I'm going to flush trim the outside of this. I want to show you a couple things with this. It's kind of cool. And then we'll cut out that woofer hole and get this thing closed.
Man, I love that quad bearing flush trim bit. You notice Brian. I mean, it kind of worked out based on the size of that part, but he's doing what he was talking about earlier, where he intentionally like cuts off some of these chunks in smaller pieces just so they're more manageable as he's going around.
Nice. So we clean it up, looking good. We can peel it, and then let's focus on that inside. This one's gonna have this cutout for us, and the beauty of this is I could just go up to that next size. So there's our positive, but that's our negative. So that's this circle set is just so important in my mind to save time.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably my second most used set.
Yeah. I mean, because the problem is that, like, if you're stuck with this positive circle, but you really need the negative. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something that you can work around.
Yeah, with doing oversized, undersized with bearings and everything. But again, to just literally have that size ready to go and just flush trim it. We all have the flush trim bit loaded already anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me just try to get this as clean as I can here. Something like that. And then I'll just draw that circle line. That'll get us right in the center. Tape it.
I'm excited to see what you're gonna do after we flush trim this. we gotta have a little hook there. Keep watching. We're going deep.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's coming together. So this is just, I think, a nice way to add dimension and just make this thing super cool. I think we'll have if people will watch, we can do a little bit of upholstery on this and just wrap a section of it. I don't know if
Well,
our viewer,
I
if
don't
our
know.
viewer,
Yeah,
if
they
our
gotta
view-
chime in.
if our viewership wants us to do it, then hey, we're in. But my wife gave me the pass, so we're good. So there's our centerpiece, which is actually kind of a cool piece in itself. Just
Yeah.
that. That's why I'm doing both. I'm doing both of these different styles. So you can see. Here, let me go back to.
Brian, you're gonna have to wrap it now.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
But look,
Go for it.
yeah. So like the hot rod thing, or if you just want a cool panel, if you guys have been to class, you've seen how we've made this light up. with acrylic. So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I noticed when you said you're like you could use different materials for this, like acrylic.
Yeah, and other laminations or combinations of that. So not
Interesting.
just not just acrylic. You could do laminations and edge light and do all kinds of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
all right, here we go. So let's get this. Let's lock this in. Let's go to router table 2 and flush trim this quick.
Hey, Levi, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that.
Stay right there.
Nice important safety tip. Wait
Yeah,
until the
and
bit stops. Yep.
say don't chuck this piece. Like that could be used for something else. Like you can make that like a centerpiece. I mean,
Yeah,
that thing's
you could have drilled that hole with a 1/4 inch drill
yeah.
bit and saved
I
a nice
I could
circle
have.
there. Yeah.
There. That's better. But I mean, that piece is kind of cool. It's badass. So you could save that or make that your test piece, whatever. So
Drill a
now
hole in it, make a Christmas ornament. Boom.
something. Do something. All right. So our next section here, on that inside piece, I'm going to just, since I've already got this bit in here, there's other bits to use. There's actually a 60-degree, look at this one. This is a 72. This thing's a monster. That thing's gnarly.
That's the
But
helicopter bit right there.
yeah, we're not going to use that, but it does exist. I like the 60 a lot. 60's cool. So chamfer bits can be any angle. They start at 72, 60, 45, 30, 15, and then you start going into like a 12 and a half and 11 and a quarter. And that's so you could, build octagons, hectagons. If you ever wanted to figure out how many sides, if you're like building a hectagon or a port, for example, you could just take however many sides you want. You want 6 sides and divide it by 180. It's 30 degrees or whatever. Or you want 8 sides, divide it by 180, half a 360, and that'll tell you what the angle of the bit should be. So just remember that.
Or your table saw if you're cutting a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, same. All right, so I'm just gonna try to cheat this. I could put the template on there, I guess. That's probably not a bad idea, just so we can get a little bit more height.
Can you switch Skycam to that?
Yeah, and 2 to 1.
Boom!
So,
you guys like that technology? We're reinvesting in School of Fab right now. Love it.
There we go. And that just gives it a nice little touch. So we can do something like this. Let's go to our center view. Trying to get this down. Something like that. And this, our woofer, and then there you go. So that kind of, and I still have that piece of quarter on underneath here. So we could peel it, or you could make that acrylic and it's part of the design and light that thing. Okay. So that's an option. Let's just see what it looks like flush. We do have the option to, look at both. I will say once you break the tape, you're going to have to realign it if you want to put it back, but you could do that.
Here, I just wanted to show this really quick because it's kind of something similar on a past project. On this, I used the matrix template to make these, which is a good segue because you're using a similar technique. But you could see how around these subwoofer cutout holes, how that lines up on the inside there and adds even some more dimension as you vinyl wrap that.
Yeah, I mean, you could make this piece could be thicker, but you see that chamfer, Mark even had it in his piece, but that little chamfer right there, it makes a big difference. It makes all the difference by just kind of finishing it out. I just think that looks sweet. It looks like a CNC cut, that whole thing. and we did it right here in front of you, the whole thing. So, and that's clean. So, should we wrap? Let's wrap something quick.
Rabbit.
I'm going to do a cross section just to warm up first, and I want to show you why. And we're going to show two things here on that. This right here. Let's say we wanted to have this top layer with like our accent color, and then this would be suede or something else. Well, I'm going to have to offset a material thickness in here. So let's just do that, and we'll just do a little section here so we can kind of pretend that it's the whole thing. You guys get the idea. But we're going to just do a rabbit on top and bottom and wrap both these with different colors. I'm going to do a blue, like a navy blue, and a white, and it'll look cool. So in order to do that, we need to change bits. Oh my goodness. Are you seeing how many times I'm changing bits? And we have 6 router tables, and I still change bits like crazy. I mean, look at the boys from MTI, Chris
Yeah, I was gonna
Pate and
say
Justin
how many
Cush and
routers do they have now?
Phil Kent. I mean, all those guys, they got, I don't know, 8, something like that. It's
if I
crazy.
if I ever hit the lottery, I'm building a fab room that has a dedicated router for every bit.
Oh my God. You're going to need to make a rotisserie so they come to you.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be a lot of walking. But yeah, see, I mean, ideally you have 2 routers. I mean, we're doing everything on 2 routers tonight, and that's ideal. Because if I had 1, I'd be changing bits twice as much. 3 and 4, it helps because then you can just leave that 1/4 inch quad bit just in, it just stays there. You don't have to keep changing it. Or a 45 or something that you use a lot can just have a home, and then you interchange the less popular bits. And that seems to make a lot of sense. All right, so here's this. So I just changed out. This is a 3/8 rabbit. Let me change our view to here. Let's go here. Okay. And I'm going to zoom just a little bit more. That's a 3/8 bit. I'm going to just use this as my test piece. And this is a great way to check your height. Each revolution of the router lift is a 1/16 of an inch. I'm sure you guys already knew that. So if I go up or down 1 revolution, it's a 1/16. I want to have this go to a 32nd. I'm trying to find some tools here. There we go. All right. So let's go all the way down. And look, I'm pushing against the carbide right here, hard. And I'm just going to go down until that board actually goes over the top. It's just there, just like that. So now I know that I'm flush with the material. The carbide is right there. And I'm going to look at that 0 dial and do, if 1 rotation is a 1/16 of an inch and a 32nd is half of that. So I'm going to just go half, and I actually go a little bit more than half just for fun. And you can see I've got a bunch of upholstery or a bunch of dust in here. We're going to get that out for, this is my upholstery tool here. There. Let's lock that in. I'm not sure what viewer said that, but that is a good thing. Let's test this. And there you go. So Mark, let's talk about why. Why did we just do that? Rabbit on the back. All right. So I got some.
You're gonna need some room for something, right? Some space. Sorry, I'm setting up the coupon code for
Here
the
you go. So that's a 32nd. Vinyl is a 32nd. If you're unclear on how thick it is, it's not a 16th. It's a 32nd, right? And so there you go. So here's what I want you to do is take and rabbit the bottom of this layer. And then the top of this layer. And we'll actually do the bottom of this too. And then look, so this is what it should look like as a cross section inside the box, and that's enough material for you to wrap that material down on the top. That'll be a different color than the bottom, and then you have compensation, so the vinyl actually has somewhere to go, and that wood can stay tight. You don't have this big gap in between here. We don't have this big air pocket, or these are out of alignment because you just have a bunch of material stacked up here. So this is so important that you do that little rabbit step right there. So yeah, super easy, right? Let's go. Let's upholster. Which one do you want to cover? The hot rod one or the woofer one?
Let's ask the audience, which one do you guys want covered? The hot rod? Can you show us the two real quick?
You bet.
The
Let
hot
me
rod
clear.
one.
Let me clear the deck. Hang on.
I got it on you. I got the camera on you. Hot rod one or the subwoofer cutout one? My vote's for the subwoofer cutout one because
Okay.
it has the dimension around the circle. But
Okay, sweet. Let's just do that because it's
been
already
decided.
okay. Good talk. All right, so let's get a couple things laid out here. So upholstery work, guys. This is actually my very favorite part because it's almost the ending. You're getting close to the end. So you got to have a clean surface area. It's super important. What we like to use is chipboard. Chipboard is we get it from Uline. It's a really thin cardboard. Let me lower this down, and I'll go to our central view so you can see this. There. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Shadow template and SFS circle template are officially on sale.
Oh man.
25% off. No coupon code.
That is tonight only. It will 100% die at midnight. So just know that, guys. You will not see that there in the morning. So if you want it, awesome. It's there. Okay, so we're gonna rock this out. This is a project, and then this is a project. We don't have time for the big piece. Mark, can you go to the sky cam for us?
Boom.
Okay. So let me see if I can try to dial this in. We're gonna do this really fast. Try to get this going for you guys so you can get to bed. Some of you guys, it's late. East Coast boys.
Nah. They're fine.
Okay. So here's our two pieces. Let's pre-cut the material. Like I mentioned, we're gonna do white and this it's like a navy blue. It's really cool, and the two together look awesome.
Brian, why do you like to do a lighter color on that inside shirt?
Because it's gonna pop. Yeah, it's gonna look really
show more.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we can look at some other pieces. Either one would be okay, but if you look at some of the other pieces here, I'll show you one right here. This is an idea for you. Here. Kind of
there it is.
There
you go. Yep.
So yeah, we can do this centerpiece white if you want, or blue, or we can just do that top part of it blue and part of it white. But yeah, it's cool. This could be this actually has some really cool elements. We might make this our next School of Fab right here. So we'll see. Why don't we ask our viewership?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, while I'm getting this stuff prepped, we're gonna cut this and get all of our material just pre-cut super fast. And yeah, what would you guys like to see?
Yeah, give us some ideas. What would you like to see in a future School of Fab episode?
Yeah, because we'd like to start going back to our monthly kind of routine.
Also, I have a couple of questions starred also that I wanted to come back to once we had kind of some busy work going on.
Okay.
While people are responding to that, Tony Beard asked, what if you wanted the diamonds to carry throughout that centerpiece?
So, which piece? This piece?
Yeah, like right now the diamonds are only kind of in the middle. That's kind of like what we were talking about previously. You might need to reposition the rail, like the piece that is attached to your workpiece.
Yep. That's 100% what you do is just reposition that.
But something else you could consider is just using the matrix set,
Yep.
because here I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. Give me a second. Because that is designed in a way that you can basically unlimited like reposition that and
Yeah,
keep
you can
adding.
go left and right as much as you want.
And there's different shapes too. So that's the beveled diamond. There's this, which is like more of a elongated hex pattern. So lots of different options there.
Okay. Looks like we're ready, Mark. This is a couple things to consider on this. Is our glue gun, which is our favorite.
Just so you know, Brian, all the East Coast boys are still at their shops, so we're good.
Okay, good.
They're tuned in for the long haul.
I'm glad that you guys are making your shop your home. Mama doesn't like that, but that's cool.
Hey, what
All right.
scissors were you using there?
So these are, we have some from NC Carpet, and then these are Kai's. Kai's.
Yep.
We have some as well. The Kai's are not, they're good, but not cheap.
Don't
Good and cheap.
use them to cut sandpaper.
Yeah, actually, they don't cut anything but material. So I am going to just kind of rock this thing out, and then we'll flip our cardboard. But you see how valuable the cardboard is? Because we're not getting our bench all dirty. And I'm going to just do this super fast. This is a sample here. So I always like to build a test piece so we know how it's going to look and to make sure the fit is right. So that's super important.
The spray gun he's using is the 3M Accu spray system. Is that the red tip you got on there? Is that 2.0 millimeter, I think?
It is 2.0. I had to get some tape here because I'll show you why. You want this little rabbit right here. Let's get this in position. I want to make sure that we are more precise with that tape right there, or the glue spray, and on the back side too. That way, when I glue this, we can just cut it really clean, and then we're not fighting the glue at all. Super fast. So see how nice? All we have to do is focus on. So the top one, you know, I'm definitely wrapping both pieces, but that middle one, not so much. So, all right. So here's this piece. Now, a good rule of thumb is to spray your vinyl first, just to make sure your glue gun is doing its thing. It's not spitting and
A little
blowing
bit more
out.
forgiving on the back side.
Yeah, if you screw up this, you can just throw the vinyl away. Not that you want to, but that wood piece, we got some time invested into it. So if I put a bunch of glue on there and it damages it, it's actually going to cost me time. So I just want to make sure that it's good. And then you see how I'm spraying in 2 directions. This is really important, especially for those diamond cuts. So you could even come back and do it diagonal. You don't want to make it too thick, but I definitely want some 100% coverage, and let that dry to the touch is the goal. Make sure you have a nice clean work surface. All right, so this guy. Let's get all of our pieces of the puzzle here. This one, it's just that little layer. And then I usually have a turntable, like a Lazy Susan. And I have a little one in the paint booth. The best place to buy them, IKEA.
I was gonna say IKEA, yeah.
Yeah, if you got an IKEA, you're in luck.
It's literally that thing that you put on the middle of like a dining room table so that you can like pass the salt by spinning it. Just get one of those. Very handy.
Yeah, and so I'm just trying to work those diamonds in that back piece. Something like that. And looking good. So we're going to let that dry for just a few minutes. I probably won't need a heat gun for this. There's, we could have put a little bit, we could have done a rabbit on that back edge. It's fine, but you guys get the idea. So let's just work on this piece right here. This is that blue piece. I'm going to set this blind. Let's kind of focus more in the center here and zoom. So let's do this.
On that contact, I might have spaced out. Maybe you said it, but on that contact adhesive, you want it to be dry to the touch. Did you mention that? Sorry, I was kind of looking at back end stuff here, but
Yeah, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but yeah, dry to the touch. And then here's kind of my tool pieces. That, like my tip right here is use a right angle pick, and I use the back edge of that, and then just come in and cut this at a 45 right where we did that router cut. Look how clean. So that makes it level. And this will just be a nice test piece for us.
I mentioned that dry to the touch because that's the classic mistake is people spray it and they immediately put it together, and that's not how the contact adhesive works. You want it to be dry because then it bonds to itself.
Yeah. And I'm just going to cut this flush, guys. So
yeah, just making a little test piece there.
So you get a nice visual of what the layers would look like. And there's really a ton of benefits of adding those layers. It just gives it depth. No body filler. And I used to love to sand.
You've done some sanding in your day.
I've done some.
Sure.
I've done some sanding. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts just thinking about it. All right, so there you go, nice and clean. So that's our test piece. That's our top piece, and we can clean that up. So we're gonna just set that aside right here. Let's jump over this.
If you do get a little bit of, obviously we're on a live cooking show right now. If you do get a little bit of excess upholstery adhesive on the vinyl, what's a good solvent to remove it?
So the Acrosol, if some of you guys have used it, maybe, is amazing. We do carry that, and it is the best cleaner, period. You could put it on anything, actually even suede, and it'll clean that material off. So look how nice. I just cut this here, and that's just right on that cut.
Nice.
So there's that. And then same thing here. We just want to dial this in. Press that backing and that glue, and then come in and cut it again. And peel this off, and then just cut this flush. All you're going to see is that little front edge.
And your little hook tool, tucking into the corner there, like obviously not as big a deal on this test piece where it's a straight edge, but when you're working around the inside profile of like a rounded shape where you're really stretching that material to like bring it around the backside, that really helps lock that material in.
Yeah, so there you go. Look how cool. There's that chamfer, and that would be on our bigger piece.
Right.
Same thing. It's just more of the same, but you could really kind of play with the different materials on that. All right, so now let's go to our big piece, and we got to wrap this up. I know you guys it's getting late. It's almost 9 here. So what I like to do is get a scrap piece of material and use this like that. Let me center this so we can see what we're doing. And let's actually get our chipboard. I'm going to change the view. Come back out. There you go. And let's make this nice and clean so we have a nice work surface. You guys can see what's going on. There's no glue on this piece, so it's not going to stick. That's key. And then you're going to take this piece. You could roll it out. This way you can just lay it on top of there. And it's such a good nugget right here because it is pressure sensitive. Like this little corner right here that just touched, it's set. So that's okay. But now I can just work this whole edge. And I have 2 key things here that I like. And one is a wet towel. And the other one is a heat gun. So let's get that heat gun rocking.
Wax paper also works really well for your like protective layer there. So especially if you guys are wrapping something that's really complex, has a lot of curvature to it, or different areas that you want to spend time really working down into the details, especially if you're using like the matrix template set or doing this technique that we've shown in this video. It really, really pays off to protect it and work it as you go, work that material down in as you go.
Yeah, 100%.
What
So go ahead, Mark.
I was going to ask, what's your go-to temperature that you like to use on the
I
heat
like
gun?
600. This is set to max, so that's not good. So it has a 6 on it, and that's for 600. And yeah, we're pretty good here. So I'm just gonna heat it and keep that gun moving. 600 degrees is nice. If you do it at like 1200, expect that your vinyl to get burnt. And then this is a wet rag. This is a wet towel. And you're just gonna take these and start finding some of those details and
Nice.
use that pick and just kind of build this thing out. This won't take long. We'll just kind of fill this in. I wish it could. The shadow is not
No, we
awesome
could
there.
see it. We could see it really good, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Hey, quick note on the heat gun guys. So a lot of times when you get them, they'll just say like a value, or some of them have like lights, like it lights up a certain amount of lights. If you read the instruction manual, a lot of times it will tell you what temperature actually corresponds with like 3 lights versus 4 lights. So what I recommend when you get your heat gun, just if you have a label maker, use a label maker and just print out real quick, what temperature corresponds to each of those, or even just put some tape on there and literally write down with a Sharpie fine tip or whatever. But that way you don't have to necessarily get a super expensive heat gun that has like the digital screen on it. You could just get more normal heat gun.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just take this halfway to the halfway point right here. It just makes you so you don't have to negotiate so much material and worry about this side sticking. I can just have that vinyl float over there. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yep.
And just keep working the back of that pick is what I like.
Something to note here too. So when Brian machined that groove, about how deep do you think it was? You said about 16th.
Yeah, 8th to a 16th. This is
Yeah.
probably more on the 16th side.
Yeah, if you do go deeper, because let's say that's the look you're looking for, if you do go deeper as you go with the vinyl here, sometimes you almost kind of have to lay it into each individual groove as you go. You don't want to make the mistake of like laying it across a groove and then trying to get the material to really stretch down into there if you can avoid it.
Yeah. Sometimes that backing can be a consideration too. If
Yep,
it's
depending on the vinyl, right?
yeah, if it stretches a certain way, you want to be mindful of that. I usually don't pay a lot of attention to it unless it's a really critical thing. But I mean, you guys can see I'm just finding these little tracks, and now that it's kind of set, it's super easy. And this is going to backload, so it's going to load, reverse, if you will, from the back of the trim panel. So I don't need to wrap everything. I can just cut it flush on those side pieces.
Do you
There.
have one of the smart rollers?
Yeah. I don't have one close, but yes, we do have a
Okay.
smart ruler. Okay, so look how cool.
Nice.
Okay. So, and just keep working that detail, heat it. I guess that, you could say the vinyl is kind of in shock right now. It's wanting to pull back, and we want to just keep working that angle. This is like I was telling you, if you router too deep, it's not good. You're gonna fight it, and the look is not gonna change. It's actually gonna look worse. So most common mistake is guys router too deep. Don't do that. it will bite you every single time. Let's cut this thing flush, and I'm gonna glue this inside edge super fast. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Any questions?
What's the purpose of the wet rag?
So the wet rag, well, if you're heating it up, getting that vinyl nice and toasty, it helps cool it down. But it also, in my opinion, gives you more contact surface area, and it just kind of molds that vinyl way better than your hand can. I can't explain it. Just try it, and you'll thank me.
Yeah, it kind of it just glides over the edge,
Yeah.
like the surface better too.
Yep. No, it's super helpful in that aspect. And if you have a complicated shape, we're just gonna cut this flush on this outside edge. So we're gonna flush trim this outside edge.
I get this question a lot on my own videos as well. What vinyl do you all like to use? So, like,
So,
what's your recommendation there for finding a vinyl supplier, or who would you recommend?
so we like Keystone Brothers because uh, they're in most of the, you know, it's a nationwide company. Keystone is a great partner. We like the marine line and the expanded backing. So if you can find Keystone Brothers, I might even have a sample book right here. Yeah, they've got a book right here that's super cool. So that's the
Soft side.
south side. Yeah, Keystone. So look up Keystone Brothers. They will be at the Master Tech Expo. How convenient, huh? They are one of our main suppliers
Nice.
and awesome support system for those guys as well. But they have everything. I mean, carpet, suede, all that stuff. So if you guys have, I know this sounds crazy, but if your vinyl is kind of close like this, you can flush trim it. I've done it. And carpet, well, this last class, we used some Mercedes carpet, that really thick stuff. And I didn't like the way that it was kind of trimming out around the edges. So I actually flipped it upside down and put a chamfer bit in, a sharp chamfer bit, and I chamfered the carpet. It
Really?
worked, and it actually worked
Wow.
really, really well. So
Huh.
you can chamfer material and flush trim material if it's not a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, there's kind of rules to it. You're not like barreling through it, but you're just kind of skimming it. Sure, you can kind of tighten it up. Think of it
Yeah.
as a pair of scissors, but it's on the router. So
Right. Right.
so
Huh.
I'm just giving some relief cuts here.
Yeah. Obviously, you could have ran a rabbit bit around the inside there
Yep,
too, but again, sake of time, we're just busting this out. So.
yep. So here's this. And this one, we do need to wrap it around the back because you are going to see it if,
If you cut flush, yeah.
yeah, if you cut flush, you're going to see it. So we got to wrap it, and that's okay. We're just going to take our time. And then the more relief cuts you do, the better. Heat it. Heat it from the back, actually. So I'm just rocking this thing out. Quick, heat this. And let's peel up these pieces. And then we'll come back and trim it, give it a little haircut, and see how this thing looks. We'll just kind of stack it together and do a nice mock-up. Oop, there goes my knife.
Hey, Mike hit us with the nugget of the night. Don't router too deep. It won't look better. It will actually look worse.
That's true. He's not wrong.
And don't remember our hashtag for the night.
Look, Russ,
Or
no
don't forget.
lines.
Yeah. Or just no lines.
Yeah,
Hashtag no lines.
no lines. Yeah, no lines.
I hope to see that a lot. Everyone will know the inside joke. Well, not everyone, but
Okay,
all the true guys that were here tonight will know the inside joke.
if you're not reciting at least 2 or 3 lines from Christmas Vacation this time of year, then you're not my friend.
We went to a Christmas parade recently, and one of the floats had, is it Cousin Eddie or Uncle Eddie or
Yeah,
whatever?
Uncle Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the, you know what's full. I don't know if we should say it on here, but you know what I'm talking about when he was like
Uh-huh.
sucking out the sewage.
Yeah. The shitter's full.
Ah, there you go. All
The-
right. Oh,
Yeah.
classic. That movie's a classic.
All right.
Dang, look at that.
Okay. So
What do you guys
there.
think of that?
Here's our. Let's get a woofer in there. That'll help it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Boom. Love it.
So yeah, it's. I don't know if you can see with the shadow, but
No, you
uh,
can. Oh, tilt it towards you. Yeah, there you go. Nice.
yeah, it's a cool piece, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Lots and lots of just little tricks. Hope that that stack right there gave you some
Give
idea.
us a. Can we get a close up?
Yeah, let me see if I can get there. There's a, and I'll zoom. I'll zoom the whole thing.
Give me somebody, anybody, and give me somebody while I'm waiting. That's classic. Oh,
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, fun stuff tonight, and that raw piece turned out super good. The other one, the hot rod one, it's around here. We got a few different versions. So yeah, cool. Just a different concept, and just wanted to show some different ways to kind of spice up your trim panel.
boom.
There you go. School Fab number 15.
Number 15 in the
Or,
books. So hey, a reminder for everyone. Here, hold on. Let me switch our camera setup here. Oops. All right. There we go. So, hey, a reminder for everyone, if you would like to access the past episodes of School of Fab, there's a full library that you guys can get access to by becoming a Patreon member. You can do that by going to patreon.com/School of Fab. You can see the link down at the bottom of the screen right now. So, big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. They help make this show possible. Appreciate you guys. And also, don't forget if you want to join us live in the future, that you guys can make sure you never miss an episode by going to schooloffab.com, sign up for our email list. We're not like some of those companies that send out an email blast. Brian, I don't know about you, but I've been getting like hundreds of emails from the same company. It's like every day they're sending me like 10 emails. Like,
yeah,
really? Come on. Like,
that's ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. So anyway, we just use that as a way to send you guys an email and notify you and let you know that there's an upcoming School of Fab episode coming. And who wouldn't want to know that? So head on over, get signed up on our email list as well, and hashtag no lines. You got
Yeah,
anything to add, Brian? Don't forget to sign up for Master Tech Expo, of course.
yeah. Let us know what topics you guys would like to see in the future, and we would love to see you guys at the Master Tech Expo. It will be amazing, and every year it's totally different. So yeah, it's every year is special, and we never kind of repeat. So don't miss it.
For sure.
So
Cool. If you
no,
guys
that
want, just because we're going to kind of end the episode right now, if you have ideas for future School of Fab episodes, just go to either our Instagram or Facebook and just drop a comment on there. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching.
yeah, you guys take care. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and yeah, we wish you guys the best.
Thanks, guys.